Hi, this is Davis from HireHero.net. This is Frank Underwood. You all probably know him from House of Cards. Frank is an important man, and he needs to be on social media, but he doesn't have a lot of time. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how to position Frank as an expert on social media with just a few minutes each week. This is really applicable for job hunters because when your name is out there on social media at the right time, it helps you stay in front of your audience. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to start here at Buffer App, which is just bufferapp.com, and we're just going to go ahead and log in with LinkedIn. Alright, so you're going to see that here we are managing Frank Underwood's profile here, and we're just going to allow access to it. And here we go. Alright, now we are in the basics of Buffer App. You can check out their tutorial if you want. We're not going to right now. So the basics of what's going on here, it's going to say things like, let's see, let me just go here. What do you want to share? All right, so this is where we are going to, this is going to be our, think of it as the headquarters for your social media rhythm management. All right, so now you're going to see that we are at a different website now. This is Feedly.com. And so Feedly.com is an online reader, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we sign up here. You'll notice that we can't sign up with LinkedIn, so I'll just go ahead and sign up with Frank Underwood's Twitter account. And it already knows I'm signed in, so good. Now we're signed in with Frank Underwood's Twitter account, and cool. So Feedly, what Feedly does is it is going to pull in the sources of news that you tell it to, and it's going to present it all in one place. And you're going to see what this means as we go on. So for example, Frank Underwood is a politician, and he's got to stay on top of what's going on in South Carolina. So what I did is I found this Fitz News, a website about what's going on in South Carolina. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for this symbol here. This symbol is the RSS symbol. And what RSS means is it means really simple syndication. And you're going to see it says no RSS reader is installed. That's fine because we're doing it with Feedly. So we're going to copy this address up here. Copy the address from the browser bar. We're going to go back to Feedly. All right, so here we are back in Feedly, and we're going to add content. All right, so as we add this content, you'll see that you're going to put this address in here, and it's going to say, hey, there's Fitz News. And so here we go. Now, to the right of Fitz News, you're going to see this plus Feedly. Click that, and it's going to say, okay, cool. I'm going to retitle this. This is going to be South Carolina News. Cool. And then I'm going to put it in a new category, and so I'm going to do politics. Cool. I'm going to click add. Now if you'll notice, when you go over here to the left side of Feedly, now under politics you see South Carolina News. So before we add anything else, I'm just going to show you what I mean by really simple syndication. So now you're going to see here that that South Carolina News, which is this Fitz News source, it's all here in one place. And actually the way that I like to view it is in the title only. So you're going to see here that it's got all the headlines from South Carolina News. But we're not done yet. So since we've already finished with Fitz News, I'm just going to go ahead and close this window and close this one too because that's associated with Fitz News. Now we're on PolitiFact. So this is another website that I found that Frank Underwood is going to want to keep track of. On this website, you don't actually see the little symbol that I mentioned before, but you'll see here on the side it says subscribe to our RSS feeds. You can do that, you can find that oftentimes by clicking RSS. Look, so if you put find in your browser window, there it comes up. So I'm going to want to subscribe to the RSS feeds Truth-O-Meter. I'm going to click there. And you're going to say, again, no RSS reader installed. It doesn't matter. You copy it here. Copy. And then we're going to go back to Feedly. And go over here. and we're going to do add content, and then we're going to paste it into that spot right there. And then there it is, PolitiFact. All right, cool. And then again, as we did before, we're going to go add to Feedly. And this time we're going to just briefly change the title here, PolitiFact.com. And then I'm going to put it in the politics category. All right. Now what you're going to notice is under politics, we have two different news sources. We have PolitiFact.com and South Carolina News. All right, before we're finished adding our news sources here, we know that Frank Underwood loves Call of Duty. So we're going to subscribe to a Call of Duty blog. So here we go. There's the RSS symbol. It's going to say feed. We're going to get the same message from Safari, but we're not using Safari as our reader, so we're going to copy this, go back to Feedly, add the content, I'm going to paste it in there. There's the Call of Duty blog. We're going to add it. So this is going to be gaming. We're going to create a new collection. We're going to call it just Call of Duty blog. Cool. All right. So now the Call of Duty blog is going to be in our gaming feed. So now if you go over here again, you'll see that we have gaming news sources and we have politics. So now what you should be imagining is what's your news source, right? What's your news world, right? So for example, if you are in politics, you're going to have to keep track of the political blogs and you like gaming. So now that we've got our news sources here, let's go to our politics. All right, cool. So here we are in politics, and you see what's happening actually is that it's combining PolitiFact and our South Carolina news in one big feed. And what happens is, as we scroll down, we're going to be able to say, okay, we've finished with reading all this stuff. Like you can even see up here, this will say mark as read. When you finish reading all this stuff, you just mark it as read. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say magazine style. Okay. And anyway, so yeah, now we have some stuff to, we have some interesting things that are in Frank Underwood's sort of media world, okay? So look at this. Let's say this corrupt official back in office, right? This is an article. All right. So it looks like, let's see, we're going to click on it, and then now it's going to open this article in the new window. All right. So we're like, okay, we're reading it. Okay, great. This is really interesting. You know what? Me, my Frank Underwood, my network is going to be really interested in this story. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click off of it here. And so now we're back in Feedly, and here is this story. What we're going to do is we're going to click buffer. That's the symbol for buffer right there. You'll notice if we go back to buffer, there's the symbol. So we're going to click buffer right there, and then this little window is going to pop up. And there's our LinkedIn profile right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little headline for this. We're going to say, how can corruption be such a major part of politics? I would never work with this person, because Frank Underwood is the ultimate wheeler and dealer, so he's got to separate himself from corruption and instead talk about how he would never deal with this person. Now what you're going to do is you're going to buffer that. Boom. All right. Cool. I'm going to X out of these windows here. All right. Now let's go back. Let's see. Okay, here's another one. Scary jobs reality. 60% of American jobs pay $35,000 or less. All right, so let's say that this article is also going to be interesting to our network. So this is the beauty of buffer. Now we're going to buffer it again. And we're going to say, my new economic agenda will bring more jobs to South Carolina. All right, and then we're going to buffer this too. All right, so now what you're going to see, let's go back to buffer real quick. you're going to see that Buffer has, if you click on the LinkedIn profile, that Buffer is going to have multiple layers of content. And what I mean by that is, let's just do a quick refresh here. All right, hopefully it came up. All right, cool. So now you see, look, it's got these two things that you've buffered are in your feed. So imagine this, imagine this is kind of like an automated machine. And so what Buffer is going to do is it's going to release these two stories, first this one and then this one, to your network at the times you tell it. So what we want to do is go over here to the schedule, and let's say, okay, Frank's people are mostly online and checking out their LinkedIn, let's say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're going to unselect, nope. So the only times that Frank Underwood's content will be shared will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's only do this once a day because we don't want to wear out our network by posting too much. And let's say post it at 10:04 a.m. every day. Okay, so what this means is that now Buffer is going to post what you've put in your feed every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you're going to be releasing 4 stories a week. And I'm actually going to change the time zone here. Frank is on Washington, D.C. time. They should know that. All right, so now we're on Washington, D.C. time. All right, cool. Now if we go back to our Buffer, you can see here that we've got, it's saying, okay, cool. So Saturday it's going to share this, and Sunday it's going to share this. And then you can also do things that aren't related to an article, like I'm thinking about all my friends in South Carolina who are enjoying the new flowers this week, right? Okay, we can buffer that too, boom. Now we have another buffer, another article in our buffer, so it's like a layer of content. So what this is going to have the effect of is it's going to mean that on LinkedIn here, you'll see that some people have shared stuff. Look, there's me, right? So I share usually something every day. So that means as Frank is perusing LinkedIn, he's finding what I'm doing here, and he's gonna like it because I can do that. Cool. So, now you're seeing the possibilities of using the combination of Buffer app with Feedly to pull in the information from your arena, from your world. We could even go here to the Call of Duty blog, and if Frank wants to share with his network something from Call of Duty, he can absolutely do that too. And you're going to have all of your news feeds in one place, and you're just going to keep stacking up that buffer so that people don't forget about you. And now you're going to be in front of people on LinkedIn so that one day somebody is browsing, maybe Frank Underwood is browsing LinkedIn and says, oh, that guy Davis, I've been wanting to talk to him about creating some really great content for my next campaign. Send him a message. And then you're going to get that message, and hopefully that message is going to be, hey, we're looking for somebody with your skill set. What are you up to these days?